Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage. Getting dark early on this first Sunday in November 2024. First day of daylight savings time. It was bright early this morning. Everything was frosty, a little bit chilly overnight. Wasn't a bad day, almost hit 50. I spent a couple hours outside, fired up the charcoal fire pit, cooked some bacon, eggs, and steak. And then I came inside the shop to finally take my Aces EFI system that I bought last week on a whim out of the box. Well, not necessarily on a whim. Lots of thought was put into it, pretty much. So, the factory PCM we recently talked about came out 97, 98 and up. General Motors, still a relevant unit. You have to have a tuner software studio like HP tuners. You have to buy the software, pay somebody to do it, and then you don't have the ability, unless you own the software capability of tuning it yourself, you can't touch it afterwards. So it's still relevant today. You can still buy harnesses and use that to swap into your vehicle. Again, it's a worthwhile endeavor. It just depends on what level you're looking at. That's pretty much street. Sure, you can maybe mildly race with it, but it's not considered something you're gonna put in your race car, at least nowadays. In the last 10 years, there's been a lot of EFI companies come, some go. Just think of the marketing campaigns that were out there. A lot of them have successfully stuck around, despite having some shortcomings. Up to and including Holley. Holley's one of the top 3 right now, maybe. Holley, Hall Tech, Fuel Tech. If you're going, professional drag racing with EFI, you probably have one of the 3. And Holley's probably the most prevalent out there. But they have different tiers. They have their Sniper and Stealth, which are definitely low end, somewhat plagued with problems. They came out with the Sniper 2 now, and they're supposed to take care of some of those problems, but Terminator X is entry level. Terminator X Max, also entry level, but will run an electronic transmission. Holley HP, kind of middle of the road, shares a lot of qualities with the Terminator X, but is a better ECU. It's potted, where the Terminator X is just not. If you open it up, it'd be just a circuit board, I guess. Would not be solid state. And Holley Dominator, top of the food chain, most expensive, and has tons of capabilities, probably more than you need. But they all feature the ability to either hook a laptop to it or have the little handheld, which can double as a dash. The dashes come in different sizes, but you can do X amount of stuff with the little handheld dash, and the rest you can hook. You have to buy a communication cable, and you can hook your laptop up to it, and sky's the limit, only based on your ability, or if you know somebody that has more ability than you. There's almost nothing, the Holley system, for instance, won't do. This is not necessarily competition for no professional drag racer is probably going to buy this and put it in their race car. But anywhere in between, this is a good tweener unit, if you will. Aces, EFI, they just started. I've only noticed them for like the last 6 or 8 months. Their marketing campaign is far and wide. They're everywhere. I'm always kind of skeptical of new stuff and low introductory prices, but hey, when the Holley Terminator came out, they were what? $700 or $800? Now they're twice that. I read comments on the Aces site that, some people apparently have been out a couple years anyway, because people say they paid much more a few years ago before the big push now to probably get a lot of these units out there, and they're either gonna make a name for themselves or go down in flames. But they trust, the people that own the company, I don't know who they are, I only watch the videos, but they're putting these in the hands of a lot of capable, well-known people. You know, I'm sure they're giving them all the units and they're putting them in and trying them out. Now they have a lot of extra features you don't get with Holley. If Holley is a standard to measure by, what this has that Holley doesn't, because this, we'll compare this to a Terminator setup. A Holley Terminator does not have a GPS speedometer. This does. Holley doesn't come with your map sensor. This has a 2.8 bar map sensor. That's 40 PSI a boost you could run in this thing. That's pretty impressive right out of the box. They give you the intake air temp sensor. 102, that's why this system is called the Jackpot Lite. If you want a regular Jackpot, they give you 202s. And I believe Holley only runs one, at least the lower Terminator anyway, in the HP. They only run one 02 sensor, wideband. And all these sensors have Ace's name on them. So whoever's making all this stuff is making it with their name on it, which is kind of cool. They give you a mount for the dash, which I'll break out in a minute. This had a free upgrade to a 7-inch dash. It comes with a 5-inch dash. Because I elected to have transmission control, only a $200 upcharge. So this kit right now is $599 to run an LS motor without transmission control. I paid $799 with transmission control and a free upgrade to a 7-inch dash. So Holley gives you a 3.5-inch handheld. 7-inch, that's quite a difference. Now the wiring looks fantastic. Like I mentioned before, they give you the communication cable. Hey, it all adds up. That's included. The alternator pigtail. That's usually $14, $15 from Holley. It's included. They break it up. These are most of your wiring that will probably stay with the engine. Where you break it away, it's your injectors and knock sensors and stuff like that. The transmission harness, same way. It's a little short one. They all plug into the main harness. Comes in this giant bag. Everything's marked, taped. Basically, you could install this with no instructions because it doesn't come with any instructions. That's on their website. There's 59 pages. I think it covers all their different systems. If you go to their website, they have a lot of different options and systems, so you got to pick what you want. I was easily able to, I have EV6 injectors, so I chose the harness that will plug into my injectors, and wanted transmission control to run my 4L80E, and that was just as easy as clicking the box. There's a small bag of hardware. They give you a firewall grommet, isolation mounts for the PCM. I've never done an unboxing video, and I hope when I'm done this won't be considered one. Really not my jam, but the dash itself is much more than I expected because, like I mentioned, I don't have anything to put in my truck. And this will be easy. One of the coolest features is the plug on the dash is magnetic. Trust me. Let me try that again. It's magnetic. It snaps right on. They have it on all the way. There we go. Nope. Well, they also give you a way to screw it on there. But watch, but it's magnetic. But there's 2 screw holes, and you can, they even give you the little wrench and 2 tiny little screws, so, but that's pretty cool. Again, with a suction cup mount, that'll get you started. That's pretty cool. And from the drop-down menus in this, you pick your injectors, you know, your camshaft profile. Well, they give you 3 choices: stock, mild, or race, I believe. But your startup wizard, which a lot of these, like if you buy Holley Dominator, there's no startup wizard. You have to be smart enough to put all the information in yourself. This is made more for dummies, just getting started. And click a bunch of buttons and the thing ought to run. And you can tune, you can let it self-learn if you're just putting around. If you were to, you know, do any, for instance, boosted activities, going to go racing and stuff, you probably ought to do a little bit. But again, they give you the connection. You can download their software and start learning how to tune. The PCM's in this box. I saw this in the video. I can't take credit for being smart, but You see these two little holes right here? Those are for your fingers, because if you were to reach in the front, you can bend the little tabs, but that is a nice, cutest little, it's got heat sinks on the back. Again, they give you the isolation mounts for it. It has some indicator lights that I'm sure mean something, but it says drive-by cable on it. They also offer drive-by wire. But that is compact, kind of nice. I like the attractive packaging. I'm a sucker for that anyway, so. My deciding factor was adding up, even I happened into that painless wiring harness I have for a stock PCM, and I have a buddy that has HP tuners, and I'll still use that on something, but the ATK 6 liter that I bought, again, it has 36-pound injectors. They call that out. They tell you that's what you have to run to make the 460 horse. And that would require in HP tuners having all the injected data, which I have, and again, it's not as user-friendly as having a drop-down menu. So, you know, if you're a novice like myself, you know, I've only done a few conversions, usually using the stock PM, and I have a buddy that tunes it. So I'm going to take my carburetor knowledge, and instead of getting my hands dirty and having to get screwdrivers out, you can make adjustments for yourself, and I guess immediately see your results, whether they were successful or not. I do have a giant box of Holley stuff coming from an enabler friend of mine, John. He saw my video where I bought the 4500 Dominator style throttle bodies. I only have the primary still. My ship date from Holley was a week ago Monday. No update, still no tracking information. I'm a little bit nervous I'm going to get stuck with just the primaries, but time will tell. I hope I get both secondaries. I bought, you know, black and silver, and I have in my mind uses for those. The silver ones are going to go on here, I think, just for fun. And I have a tunnel ram. It's a Holley Sniper tunnel ram. It's black. It's with the black throttle bodies. That'd be kind of good looking, and I recently received that a week or so ago, the Holley Sniper tunnel ram, big block Chevy, and I thought it was interesting that it came with rubber intake manifold gaskets. Like, it looks like you cut them out of a tire tube. I thought that was kind of unique. I'm watching a video where Nick Taylor, Nicky Bobby Inc., was given a bunch of Ace's fuel injection stuff. They gave him an intake for a big block Chevy. It was a different style, but guess what? It had rubber intake gaskets. I would not be surprised if all this stuff came from the same place, much like the Holley manifolds and Holley oil pans are available in the same white box without the Holley on them. So very possible that, you know, a lot of this stuff might roll out of the same factory in China. So only time will tell whether this is a worthwhile investment. At least it was at the introductory price. Quality looks good. There's only one way to find out. They offered distributors, coils, spark plug wires. Everything has a name on it. Again, they're going big in their marketing, and so far the approach looks appealing. There's only one way to find out. And the pickup truck this is going in, I dug out a few months ago with every intention to work on it, and I've been doing nothing but work on everything else. But that is my story, my problem, and it'll all work out in the end. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you soon.